Happy New Year to all of my PowerDirector peeps. What's going on, PD peeps? It's your boy, El Profesor, in the house. 2023. It's a brand new year. Brand new things going on with the channel. Brand new things going on in all of your lives. Hope you guys are setting up some goals to do some crazy, fun, fantastic things in 2023, because God knows that I am. I am here tonight for 1 hour to answer your questions. I got to put a cap on the time of these live streams, all right? Wife's been wanting to spend more time with me, and her brother's lucky to have her. So I'm making sure that I don't go any further than 1 hour on these live streams. So if you got questions, hit me with them fast and furious, all right? Now, go ahead and lay down some ground rules. I got my man in the building, Peter J. Milner. You guys should see him in the chat as the moderator. He has the little wrench next to his name, and his name is Blue. My man Peter, thank you for staying up so late in your local time zone to hang out with us and moderate this live stream. I appreciate you, my brethren. All right. And second thing I want to say, make sure that you guys all leave your comments in the comment section if you got questions, and also smash that like button. All right, we got to get those likes up so people know about these live streams to get sent out to more people, more PowerDirector users. We need to have this chat section full of PowerDirector users ready and willing to have some fun. So make sure you guys are leaving comments, and make sure that you are also smashing that like button so people get the word about these live streams. Now, hat's a little different today. Hat's a wee bit different. You guys who are watching this video on YouTube, you should be able to see underneath the video, there are a few products down there. One of them is this hat that shows, you know, mind blown with the camera inside coming out of the mind, because our minds are blown with the greatness of videography and cameras and gear and all of that. So if you want to pick up a hat just like this one that I got on my dome piece, make sure that you click on it underneath the video. You can go ahead and grab you one of these nice warm beanies for yourself. Now, if you don't want to do that, it's fine. There's other products that I have in my store, as well as a simple way to thank me and support the channel. You guys can always hit on that little $ at the bottom of the chat section and hit me up with a super chat or a super sticker. They are welcome and appreciated. They help me continue to make content for you guys so you can learn how to use the program. All right? So this hat's getting hot, so I'm taking it off, and I'm going back to the old reliable, baby. You know you love it. You know you love it. It was time to bring back the majesty and the magic that is the Kango. So we're going to rock with it. All right? So we got 1 hour. We got till 9 o'clock to go ahead and crank out some of these questions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit up the comment section, see what's going down, and get to work. All right. My man Neil Forbes says, hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Neil. Thank you for joining us, my brethren. Thank you for joining us from down under. Let's see. My man Paul is in the building. What's going on, Paul? Paul says, hello from North Kakalaki. Stand up, North Carolina, in the building with my man Paul Feiger. Thank you for joining us. Kentucky Ranger has made it to the party. Kentucky Ranger says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Kentucky Ranger. Thank you for joining us, as usual. Top 40 researcher also making an appearance today. Says, hello all and Happy New Year. Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you as well. Okay. The Do Better podcast with Theo Coop says, my Air Force bro, what's going on? You know, representing the best force, best of the armed forces, Air Force all day, every day. They hate on us because they know that we're the smart guys. All right, we're the guys that you know, we don't put in all of the crazy grunt work. We do all the mental things. We got the mental fatigue going on with us because we think so hard, or we do things to help our country be successful. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to move on. Thanks for joining us, homeboy. I appreciate you. Bad Wolf is in the building and says, hey, all. What's going on, Bad Wolf? Thank you for making your presence felt and joining me for another live stream, my brother. All right. Do Better podcast with Theo Coop says Detroit checking in. Hey, I will tell you like this, Detroit, I got to get out there. I've never been there before, but one of my homegirls, Rena, she lived in Detroit for a few years, and she came back here, and some of her friends from Detroit came with her, and we like hung out at her crib, and it was a blast. We had a great time. I got to get out there and experience some of that, Detroit flavor. But I've never been, so I'm looking forward to doing that one day. Courtney Fuel says, hey, gang, what's going on, Courtney? How you doing, lovely? Nice to see you today. All right, first question of the night. Julian Timet says, how do you edit a 9x12 for vertical video? So the question is how to edit a 9x12. Well, basically, you could bring any footage into PowerDirector and edit it. If you're trying to create a 9x12 video, then you need to go ahead and bust out a custom resolution. So whatever, when you produce your video, you go ahead and create a custom profile, and you can make the resolution match up to 9x12 if that's what you need. So it depends on the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio is cool. It's all good to go. You can edit in whatever aspect ratio. It's about producing if you want it to be a 9x12. So let me go ahead and bring the majesty onto the screen real quick. So I've showed you guys this before. All you really got to do is go to produce screen. When you go to the produce screen and you're ready to produce your video, well, I guess I should have some in the timeline, or it's going to try to make me produce a disc. That's probably the best thing I need to do. So you click on produce once you're done doing all your edits and all your jibber jabber and all your gobbledygook. And then what you want to do is you want to go to profile type. Here it's got default. You want to change that to custom. When you change it to custom, you can go ahead and create whatever resolution you want. So if you want to create a new profile, you can just click on that. And then you want to go ahead and head over to video. And you can go ahead and choose from these resolutions in here that are available to you. You can also go ahead and create a custom resolution. And let me see how to go ahead and knock that. And you know what? We got these resolutions that are available. So we can't do a custom one. My bad. I misspoke. But if you want to go ahead and do a 9x12, you're going to have to figure out a way to get your resolution where you want it to be. Now that it's probably going to be more of a challenge within PowerDirector, because if you want to do 9x12, then you're going to have to switch it to a resolution that's going to match 9x12. And when I look at this, it's not going to have any in this one. Maybe it's because of the aspect ratio that I have it on right now. So let me go back here and see if we can get different options when we change our aspect ratio. So if I go to edit and go to aspect ratio, and let's do, let's try 9x16. And let's see what kind of aspect ratio options we get then. So I'm going to go back to custom, and I'm going to hit the plus sign. Yeah, now we got some different aspect ratios, but they're all still going to be 9x16. So there's not really a way that we can get it exactly to 9x12. The only thing that I could think of that you would be able to do is maybe just do some cropping to help get it closer to 9x12. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look like there's any custom options to get you there. There are different options in here based on your aspect ratio, but there's nothing that looks like 9x12 is going to be compatible for you. So sorry for taking you down a rabbit hole without being able to help you with that one. But the answer is, doesn't seem like that's going to be something that's possible in PowerDirector. If anybody else out there knows of a way to do it that I'm not aware of, please leave it in the comments. All right, let's see here. Let's look it through my little comments here. So, excuse me trying to get caught up. I see I got a few super chats I want to shout out real quick. We got True Challenge Proof. It hit me up with a $5 super chat. Says, how do you make a stock video clip and make it play continuously and seamlessly for an hour? So the only way to make something play continuously and seamlessly for an hour is to make sure that you kind of do what's stitching and matching up the first motion to the last motion. So whenever you're shooting something like a stock video, like if you're shooting something spinning around, you're going to have to make sure that the start of that clip looks exactly like the end of that clip. And then once you have them matching perfectly like that, you just go ahead and put them back to back on your timeline until it reaches. Today, if you can create a stock clip or custom footage or whatever that has the same start and end position, like if I get it perfectly, like where my finger is right here and I go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and go back here, that would be starting and ending at the same place. Make sure that my clip is cut or trimmed to just start and stop at the exact same position. I would go ahead and use my video player to just, play it over and over again. Autoplay, back to back to back to back. There's no need in creating a video that's an hour long and then playing it on a device that allows you to just replay the same video over and over and over again. So, in my opinion, no need to do that in PowerDirector, but if you want to, feel free to go ahead and knock it out. All right, so we got another super chat here from Paul Feiger. We got a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate your support, man. You always stepping up and supporting the channel, so I really appreciate that. All right, let's see. Let me get back to some of these questions that I missed. All right, just trying to get back to the questions. It's going to take a second here. All right, so we got a question here from Insightful Creation P. Says, when editing, my program freezes. To resolve the issue, I simply close the program. Is there an alternative way that causes the program to freeze? Or is there an alternative way and what causes the program to freeze? So if your program is frozen, then I don't know of any alternative way. My only option would be to close out the program. It doesn't really freeze on me. I probably have had it happen before, not too many times, but it has happened before. What causes the program to freeze? Usually the things that cause the program to freeze is when there's like the processor can't handle all the activities that are going on. So if you're editing and doing some other things or whatever, then maybe something needs to stop in order, or your whole computer will crash. So a program crashes rather than your whole computer shutting down. So usually it's something that you're doing within that program. It could be that you have insufficient memory or RAM. So if you have more RAM, then that should help to mitigate that problem as well. So those are the things that I can think of off the top of my head. Sometimes if you're doing a lot of things in the program, if you got a heavily edited timeline, like you got transitions, you got PIP, you got effects, things like that. If you don't have sufficient RAM, then those could be a factor that will make your PC or the program freeze or crash. So just some ideas. All right, I'm just going through some of the comments here. The Genesis says, hello, sir. How you doing? The Genesis, appreciate you for stopping through. Do Better podcast with with Theo Koo says, been using PD for a year now, have gotten good at it thanks to your vids. I had zero experience editing video and have become proficient. Hey, that's the stuff that I like to hear, man. I really appreciate the fact that people have been able to learn how to improve their skills at editing and creating content based on the tutorials that I've been able to make to try to help you guys out, man. It means a lot to know that I'm impacting so many people in a positive way, because we have our own little sphere of influence, like usually around us, our family and friends, but to know that I'm able to have a larger sphere of influence around people around the world, it's really something that is humbling to me, and I really appreciate the fact that people tell me that I'm helping them. So appreciate you, man. Audit Sharoni says, Audit Sharoni is in the house. What's going on? How you doing? Appreciate you for stopping through. Bjorn Felstad, Nature and Travel Vlog says, do you know if CyberLink has a plan to add text to speech in a future version of PD365? I have no idea if that is in the plan. So just to give you some insight into my relationship or lack thereof with CyberLink, I don't know what CyberLink's doing. I don't have any inside track to any of their changes that they make, or I don't have an influence on what they do. I have none of that. I'm basically just a guy who makes videos. Now, do I have like people at CyberLink who I can reach out to if I have questions about things and stuff like that? Yeah, I definitely do have contacts that I could probably get like quick answers to questions and things like that if I have them. If I need, like, if I do a contest and I want to give out some free copies of PowerDirector 365, or like a free 3 months or whatever, do I have somebody I can reach out to and get that? Yeah, I do. But they do not ask me about what I want in the program. I'm not able to give them feedback on what they should or should not do with the program. When it comes to those things, I'm just like every other consumer. I can go leave them feedback. I can tell the guys what I want. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Just because I have contacts doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. If I ask them questions about what's coming, they won't tell me. I'll tell you that straight up. I barely get to know about what's coming on a new version of PowerDirector probably a week before it actually comes out. So anytime a new version, I never know what the date of the new version is until a week before it, because that's when they reach out to me, or usually I'll reach out to them and say, hey, when's the new version coming out? And they might tell me a date, but they won't tell me anything about it. And then after that, I'll ask them again, all right, so can you send me a free copy of it, yada, 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 and they'll send it like about a week before it comes out. And with that being said, I have a relationship with them where I know I can't make any tutorials on the new version until the day it comes out. So do I know if it's going to have speech to text in the future? No, I don't. If I ask them, would they tell me? Nope, they wouldn't tell me either. They would tell me sorry, buddy, you know not to ask that question. Stop asking. And that'll be about that. So it is what it is. So answer your question is no. It would be cool. I don't really like that speech to text, the way it sounds. It just sounds so robotic to me. I just can't stand that part of it. But I understand why some people would want to use it. All right, we just got a super chat from Joe Banker. Joe Barker, excuse me, Mr. Barker. I apologize. And I thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate that, my brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. All right. So I'm just going through the comments here, trying to get caught up. So you guys are talking about your service. So thank you all for your service all my fellow veterans out there, active duty, reserves, all of that. Thank you so much. And I also got a comment from Joe Barker who said, Phoenix in the house. Always appreciate your channel. Definitely my go to when I have a challenge. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for looking out. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my videos whenever you need help. I appreciate it, man. My man Cowboy Steve-O reminding you guys to hit the freaking like button. Y'all see it. It's right there in the blue part right now. It says smash the like button. If you are in this live stream and you don't smash that like button, I'm going to come find you on the internet. I'll find a way. I'll put the freaking beanie back on and I'll come looking for you. Because I get the thugalicious look with the beanie. The beanie gives me the thug look. All right. So Neil says, with me, I'm always in 16:9 for the panoramic view. Seems a shame to waste an aspect ratio that gives such width. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do see the need for 9:16, only like if you're going to be presenting things on mobile. So if that is where your audience is going to be at and there's a need to do it, knock it out and do it. Also, if you have to abide by a certain aspect ratio for a certain social media site, then yeah, I can see using the other ones. But to your point, Neil, I agree. I'm always doing 16:9. And that's the way that most people want me to deliver content to them. But sometimes I do have clients that are like, hey, can I get something to have on Facebook? Or can I get yada, yada, yada? And then I have to take that into account when I'm creating the video, when I'm shooting. You have to keep those things in mind for when you're framing and things like that. So I agree, though. 16:9 is my go-to. Yeah, I did notice the buffering a while back. So I got Monan Monamity? I guess it's Nonamity. No Monamity. Something like that. I like the name just because of the way it sounds rolling off my tongue. But that individual said, I have the PD365. Ever since I did the update, I cannot drag my transitions anymore. I have to click on the detail of that cut to add it in. That's very strange. I don't understand what's going on with that one, my brethren. Let's see. I'm just looking at my own stuff and see what's happening here. Seems to be working for me. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you on that one. When it comes to those types of things, it might be something that you might want to go to the forum. PowerDirector forum is a great spot to go and ask questions, like when you're having technical issues and things like that. But of course, you could always reach out to PowerDirector if you need help with them. One of the things you can do is you can go to their website, contact support through there, or if you want to, in the program, you can go to File, and you can go to Rate Us and Provide Suggestions. I showed it to you guys a few times. When you go here, you can, it just says, how can we make this product better for you? You can type whatever you want in here. And then click on this to include your email address to get feedback. Add your email address in here. And then accept and submit. And boom, it goes directly to PowerDirector. And they will respond to you if you include your email address. So just something else you could do. Let's see here. Okay, still looking at the comments here, trying to see what questions I got. You guys are having a conversation around the program crashing, so I'm not gonna delve into that. Cowboy Steve-O said, PowerDirector, do you have a beta tester program? So I used to do beta tests with PowerDirector, and they used to send me like a beta test program version. And ever since 365 came out, I stopped doing that. So that was probably back in PowerDirector 17 when 365 came out. So I haven't done the beta testing with CyberLink in a few years. So I don't have a beta tester program available. Mo's Game Table is in the building. He says, evening, everyone. What's going on, Mo? Thank you for joining me again for another live stream. Appreciate having you here, man. True Challenge Proof says, you make learning what I consider difficult fun. Thank you. You're welcome, True. I appreciate that, man. Audit Sharoni says, great to have you, man. Woke up at 4 a.m. to be on this chat. Keep up the good work. Dang, 4 a.m. Hey, I appreciate you waking up at 4 a.m. to do this, man, because that means you find value in it. So, because I value sleep, and if I wake up to do something during my sleeping time, then I must find value in it. So, thank you for stopping through. Bad Wolf said, if you were a regular consumer looking for a decent but affordable camcorder camera, what features would be most important to you? Wow. Okay. So for me, the most important features for a camcorder or a camera, first and foremost to me would be interchangeable lenses. So I'm gonna have to get something that I can go ahead and use different millimeter lenses, different sizes. More than likely, I like to use prime lenses. So something that I know I can put some good prime lenses on. I want to go with a 35 millimeter, a 50 millimeter, and a 85, maybe even 100 millimeter prime lenses. Um, so interchangeable lenses, um, long battery life, and if it doesn't have long battery life, then something that I can rig up so that I can add a V mount battery to extend the battery life. So battery life's important. Um, Ease of use, familiarity with the interface. So something with the easy to navigate interface, if possible. Tactile buttons on it that I can use instead of having to use a touchscreen all the time. Touchscreens are cool and I like using them, but if I can have access to like tactile buttons that I can use right then and there, those are things that are important to me. Um, I would also look for something that's not too heavy. Reason why I say that is because lenses can be like pretty heavy, depending on what focal range they are. So I would look for a light camera. Um, that would be important to me. As far as specs on the camera, I would want something that shoots 4K or higher. I always shoot 4K or higher. I never shoot anything lower than 4K. Never. Something that has log profiles, so that I have the capability to have more flexibility on post production, corrections, exposure, uh, things like that. I wouldn't have to have something that shoots raw. I like shooting raw, but I don't think I would have to have that. But it is what I prefer. Um, Something that shoots at least 120 frames per second. Um, and when I say at least, I kind of like saying like that would be the I wouldn't want something that just shoots 60 or just shoots 24 or 30. I would have to have something that goes up to at least 120 frames per second. I think those are the main things, really, that I could think of off the top of my head. There might be some other factors that are important. They're probably less important than the things that I just brought up. Black Oak Outdoors says, how do you fade a title in? So fading a title, it really depends. Like if you're going from like, let's say, if you want to make something that is going from like black to fade in, then one of the things you can do is you can use the in animation. They should have a fade animation within the title that you could use. So if you go to animation and you go to in animation, there should be one on here called fade. It's right there. So it fades in just like that. Pretty simple. Now, I don't know, are you asking like something more specific? Like, because you could have, like, if you wanted to start off like as a black screen and fade in, you could put a black color board before it, or you could put a black color board above it or below it, depending on how your timeline is set up. And then you can do the fade and you'll go from black to your title fading in. So, I mean, depends on what you want to do. There's a few different options there. Let me know if I didn't answer your question, bucko. All right, bucko, or Black Cat Outdoors. All right. KA Outdoors said, how to editing fight or shooting effects like Hollywood. So how to edit a fight? I mean, really a fight is choreography. A fight is about, and I've never like done like a fight scene or whatever, because I've not done like that type of production. So I've done like documentaries, I've done like short films, but I've never done one with a fight. But first and foremost, the way that I would think it through is that first and foremost is choreography. So what is the choreography, and where are the actors going to be? Where are they moving? What is the set? Where is the setting? Those are all types of things you want to take into consideration, because you need to plan where you're going to have your camera set up and what you're going to want to film and what you're going to want to edit. It's about when you're making a movie, it's really a lot of planning that goes into it. It's not just, hey, let's shoot this, you guys fight, then I'm gonna edit it. Nah, that ain't how it works. You gotta know there has to be a plan for the movements, the setting, the placement of the people, where they're gonna be when they're fighting, where your cameras, what camera angles you're gonna have, based on what they're doing, what you want to shoot, how you want to film it. And then you can figure out how you're going to edit it after that, because now you know, here's what we filmed, here's what they want to see, here's where we're going to cut between. It's going to be a lot of jump scenes, first and foremost, based on the fight that you're seeing. Based on what you want to see, it could be a lot of shaky footage that you want it to stay shaky, or you want it to be clear, or you want it to be fast and you want a lot of motion blur between all the different movements and things like that. It really depends on what you're shooting, what you want to do, and what you want the outcome to look like. So that's pretty much my answer. There's no real answer for, well, how do you edit a fight scene? You edit it based on what the director or the producer wants the scene to look like. So it's that. Your other question, if I could pull it back up here. Looks like I lost it. You said a fight scene, or let's see if I can get back to it. Oh, you said shooting effects like Hollywood. So that's a pretty simple one. So a muzzle flash is what most people use for shooting effects. So of course you got sound effects, and then you got muzzle flashes. So a muzzle flash is just what it sounds like. It's like a flash of light, fire, kind of sparks shooting out of the end of a gun. And there's a bunch of things on how to do muzzle flash. I think I might have even did one on PowerDirector like many, many years ago. It probably looks old and outdated today, but if you can get footage of a muzzle flash that fits the type of gun that you're shooting, then basically what you're going to do is you're going to place that into your footage. You're going to go ahead and make the adjustments to the lighting, blend mode that you need to use. You're going to adjust the brightness. You can even add other effects to that muzzle flash to make it look even more realistic. So start off with looking up on YouTube, adding like a muzzle flash effect. And if you can find the one on PowerDirector that I did a long time ago, that might be a help to start you out. But I think things are a little bit more advanced, and maybe that's a tutorial that I'll think about doing again in the future. Cowboy Steve will say, if you guys haven't already, check out the PDU Discord channel. Great folks that share their projects and knowledge. Yes, it is. Great place to go. If you haven't gone there yet, make sure you go check it out. It's a great spot. See if I can pull it up on here for you guys. Yes, sir. So we back in the building at the PowerDirector Discord channel. So this is the PowerDirector Discord. Let me go ahead and send you guys a new invite just in case you guys want to join from right here. I'll just go ahead and drop this into the chat. And if you want to join a Discord channel, feel free to jump on board. All right. We got a super chat from my man Bad Wolf for $9.99. He said, "You're the best PD resource on the interweb, buddy." I appreciate that, Bad Wolf, man. Thank you for the support. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you for stopping through, my brother. Keyframe question. Guess it was a keyframe question that I missed, Kentucky Ranger. Huh. Neil Forbes says all they need to do when shooting with the mobile phone is turn the phone 90 degrees to landscape and they'll have 16 by 9. You damn skippy they will, but they don't want to. And so there you go. I mean, TikTok. You probably hate TikTok. Neil hates everything. I'll just tell you right now. Neil hates everything that you like. I love you, Neil. You funny, man. You crack me up. Let's see. Bad Wolf says, when you save a packed project, do you ever upload it to CyberLink Cloud as well, or just rely on local backups for safeguarding? Yeah, I just rely on local backups for my stuff. So I have, and look, I'm telling you right now, I got nothing on my man Peter J. Milner, but I'm gonna share my little feeble little storage that I have on my device. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. So if I go here, I'm gonna go to this drive here. I'm gonna right click on it and go to properties. So you guys can see this has what did it say, about 58.2 terabytes remaining. So the capacity is 63.9 terabytes. So I got a 63.9 terabyte direct access drive, right? So this is what I use for all of my backups. So whenever I back up any footage or whatever, it goes directly here. So I rely on this. It is just, there is no redundancy built into that, unfortunately. But the good thing about it is with this drive, it has multiple drives in it. So basically what it does is if one of the drives fails, then it transfers. You can go in basically and you can get the information off the other drive because it has redundancy built into the 5 drives that are on this direct access storage, right? So it doesn't have any, I don't have like an extra cloud storage or something else to back it up. There's redundancy built into this drive itself because it is actually 5 separate. I think they're like, I don't know. I don't remember how many terabytes there are, but I got 64 terabytes. So I guess you can figure that out. There are 5 drives on there that will back each other up. So if one fails, I could just put in a new one and it'll go ahead and copy everything that it needs to onto that new one as well to keep the redundancy of those files and nothing gets lost. So I'm not a techie guy that can explain all of that stuff to you. So that's how I understand it. And I haven't lost anything, and I have had a drive fail and nothing got lost. So I know it works. Let's see. You guys crack me up, man. Bad Wolf's like, you need some elevator background music to play while you peruse the comment section. I wish I did have something like that cracking up in here. Like whenever I like go, like if I go silent or go mute, then the music volume goes up. And then if like I start talking, it goes down. You know, that would be like great if that was automated and built into this live stream. We need to ask YouTube for that feature. All right? Don't blame me, blame YouTube. Let's see here. Let's see. Comments are coming fast and furious. Hard to keep up. All right. Steve Williams says, hi there, Malik. Got here eventually. It's all good, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping through. Catching with Key TV says, hello, Malik. I appreciate your assistance with my decision to go with the 365 subscription. No problem, man. I mean, I think the 365 subscription for me is worth it. But as I always say, it's to each his own. Like some people, they're not gonna like it. Like my man Neil, he swears by owning the software, so he doesn't rock with the 365 subscription, and that's fine. Um, a lot of people do. So it's to each his own. But I was glad I was able to help you out with that, man. Courtney Fuel says, what is a good beginner camera? I'm mostly a travel vlogger. I'm a Canon dude, so I'm gonna recommend the M50, the Canon M50. I think that's a really good beginner camera, a good mirrorless camera, small, compact, a lot of features, easy to use. You can rock with that, and you can get a lot done. Mo's Game Table said, don't discount your phone at Courtney Fuel. It's always with you. And today's cameras are generally very good quality wise. Upload to Dropbox, etc., to save on the go for editing later. Yeah, I mean, great point, Mo. I mean, you don't have to get a camera if you don't have the funds. I'd say save up, get it once you're ready to, and move up incrementally based on your experience and knowledge of how to use the devices. But don't not make videos because all you have is a phone. You can make great videos with your phone. You can start learning with your phone. You can do everything that you need to do for the most part, and get the basics done with your phone. Right now, they got all kind of accessories and other things, like even programs where you can damn near like use your phone like a camera. Like they have Filmic Pro. Like, and it's so crazy. Like I remember when Filmic Pro was like free, then they started charging for it. Now it's a subscription service to use your phone as a camera. But that's where technology is taking us right now. There's a lot of flexibility out there. And yes, Mo is right. If you got a camera, if you got a phone, use it. If you want to step up to a different type of camera and you want a beginner's camera, I think a Canon M50 is a good bet. Cowboy Steve-O said, I need a camera that's old guy friendly. I do too, but I wish they had a camera that was friendly for everybody to use. Just simple, simple, simple. But the more you want to do and the more complex things that you want control over, then the more features that you're going to have out there. And also, you know, a lot of the features on cameras today, they help you so much. You know, I love my Canon C70. It's my baby. But anyway, let's see. All Still going through the comments here. A storyboard. Yes, gotta have your storyboard of all of the scenes that you're going to be doing. There's even a storyboard mode that you can use your thumbnails from your images in PowerDirector too. So I use it. I use that a lot. Like I think on one of the videos that I showed, like how to go through the process of editing, I showed using the storyboard mode and how to go ahead and organize your clips in there first before you go and bring it into the editing timeline. So good call out, Peter. Yep, Mo said, don't forget sound effects. They make a big difference, and you can always J.J. Abrams the hell out of things with lens flare. I wouldn't do that, but I like the suggestion though. Yeah, but on the real, sound effects, man, sound is part of the whole experience. So if you're not thinking about sound effects and your audio, then you're missing half the boat. You gotta be taking that stuff into perspective when you're creating your videos and when you're editing. So don't ever leave sound off the table. Julian Tamez says, "What's a user-friendly 3D program to make 3D logos?" Um, Blender is good for that. There's a another program out there. Can't remember it off the top of my head, man. There's another program out there that's great for 3D logos, but I can't remember the name of it right now. Um, but all you really got to do is just look up, 3D rendering programs, and there's a bunch of them out there. But Blender's one that a lot of people use. So Shaky Leg by Elvis Merle says, do you happen to have any easy ideas of how to add fun effects to a graphic? I know some titles allow us to add electricity or make it a neon lights effect for my Shaky Leg logo. So there's a lot of like stickers and stuff out there that they've been adding lately. If you have PowerDirector 365, there's a bunch of them. If you go to the overlay or PIP effects room, there's a bunch of different stickers in there now that you can just throw on all kind of stuff, man. They don't even like play around with that stuff no more. Like you look at all of these different stickers and things that you can add. So if you haven't looked in here or searched for stuff, there's a bunch of things in here. Like I mean, my recommendation is if you're looking for something specific, like here's these little decoration sticker or whatever. It has these little effects that it does. Like you said, there's electricity in here. So you got those. You got different types of electricity. I mean, and if you got 365, they're coming out with different types of stickers. Like almost every month that they come out with updates, they're coming up with different stuff. So I mean, you can go through here and just look at all of these different things and add them to your videos. There are all types of different things that you can use for fun little effects that you can add on your logo. These stickers make things real easy. And I'm just showing you, clicking on a few of them here and there. You can see how many are in here by the size of this scroll bar, that there's like a lot of stuff in here, like for all types of different occasions. You can go ahead and use the different categories over here on the left. You can search the world of different things you can do. So hope that helped. Joe Barker says, grab a clip of a fight scene from a movie you like and try and copy the movement, the choreography, and the camera angles. Just grab 10 to 15 seconds. You'll be surprised. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, believe me. Great point, Joe. Oh my God, I love that movie. Mo's Game Table said, watch the hallway fight scene from The Raid. You'll get plenty of ideas on how to do a fight scene. Don't forget the over-the-shoulder angle and use of a dolly. That movie, if you have not seen The Raid, I even like part 2. Some people don't like part 2 as much. I like part 2 as well, especially the end of part 2. Like, there's an epic fight scene that they have, like, in a kitchen. It's great. I mean, the cinematography in that for like those fight scenes, off the chain. You got to check those out, man. I mean, if you haven't seen The Raid and The Raid Part 2, check those movies out. If you like to see like fights, it's a lot of like I don't know what style it is, but you know, some type of karate or you know, fighting. I don't know. I don't want to misspeak, but it's great stuff, man. Wrenchmine said, hi, everyone. What's going on, Wrenchmine? We coming up on an hour, people. So, you know, kind of like didn't even get through all my questions and comments. Let's see here. I got a super chat from Wrenchmine. Says, hi, Malik. Everyone join the Discord channel. That's right, baby. If y'all didn't see, I did put the link to the Discord channel in the chat. Check it out. Cowboy Steve said, I hate TikTok as well, Neil. Don't get Neil started, okay? Just let Neil be. Neil says, welcome to the club, LOL. All right. Got a lot going on there, so let me go on to the next page. Audio ducking. What's going on with audio ducking? Let me know. Charge it to my bill. Oh, yeah. My Aussie Garden and Kitchen says, good day, mate. So glad I went with PowerDirector 365. So much shady stuff going on from Fillmore recently. Shocking. Neil says, Daniel Patel had issues with Fillmore recently. That's one reason why I prefer perpetual licenses. Top 40 researcher says, Neil Forbes, yes, Fillmore is rubbish. Mo's Game Table says, don't forget, PD also has a phone app. That's right. And I made tutorials for that one on my other channel. My Aussie Garden and Kitchen says, can't believe they tried to hurt him with a copyright strike on a video they paid him to do a year ago. And then follow that up with, I really like how easy PowerDirector has been to learn. The tutorials have been a great help too, by the way. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. All right. Cowboy Steve-O had to duck out. Thanks for joining us, Cowboy Steve-O. Appreciate you, man. All right, so if I don't see any more questions on here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the thing that was going on with Filmora. And I think I'm good. No questions. So, Filmora. I want to talk a little bit about that, man. So, first and foremost, Filmora has reached out to me multiple times to do tutorials for their software. I am very pleased with the fact that I decided not to go down that path. And I know that Daniel is also pleased with the fact that he moved on from his relationship with Filmora. And if you've ever watched any of Daniel Batal's videos, he talked a lot about how he wanted to have, I guess, more flexibility, for lack of a better term, not being tied down to like that one program. And if something happened with that program or something happened with the relationship, how that could impact his whole channel and all the other things that he's doing. So he wanted to have more flexibility to do what he wanted to do. So he moved away from Filmora. And I'm quite sure that now he's pretty happy with his decision there. What happened, for those of you who don't know, is Filmora changed the wording in their end user license agreement to move away from doing free updates to doing upgrades. So they used to have something called a lifetime license. And in the wording for their lifetime license, it stated that with the lifetime license, you got free updates for Filmora forever. And they have a site called, like, I think it's called the Wayback Machine, where you can look at how websites looked many, many years ago. And they were able to prove that that's what it said on their page when you bought it. If you buy this version, you get updates for life. And it costed more because you were getting updates for life. But it was a one-time payment. And then anytime a new version of Filmora came out, they gave it to you for free, right? Now, when version 9 came out, they changed the wording from updates in the end user license agreement. They changed the wording from update to upgrade, right? So, and then they put some other text in there that kind of made an update different from an upgrade, right? And so then after that version, they started in each one of their end user license agreements, they talked about how upgrades were not free. Upgrades, you had to pay for upgrades. You can get updates to the software, but you have to pay for upgrades. So finally, version 12 came out recently. And they said version 12 was not an update anymore. It was an upgrade. So now they're saying that you got to pay for it. So basically, a lot of people who use Filmora and bought that lifetime license, they did not have an option for them to get a free update to version 12. It was just an upgrade. So now they had to pay. Even if they paid for the lifetime update license, they still had to pay for version 12. So a lot of people were mad. Daniel Batal was one of those people who was mad. And he was using Filmora, and he was at the same time looking at delving into like going with DaVinci Resolve. But he was still using Filmora for his videos and things like that because it was what he was used to. It's the software that he was using since, I think, version 8 all the way up to version 11. So he was still using Filmora, and he was kind of starting to transition over to DaVinci Resolve. But he was upset, so he made a video about it. He made a video about, you know, how everything changed and how they weren't doing anything, and they weren't responding to any of his tweets on Twitter. They weren't responding to his emails. Nothing. They were just kind of like saying, we worked with you a year ago, not working with you anymore, and we don't care what you got to say. They were tagging Filmora, Wondershare Filmora on Twitter all over the place. They weren't responding, yada, yada, yada. So eventually they did send him an email and told him, well, you don't understand what we're doing and why. And this upgrade is not the same as update. And you're looking at the stuff on version 8. We're talking about version 9. Yada, yada, yada. All this rigmarole talk BS. Then they told him, hey, we want you to be an ambassador again. Do you want to start making videos for us again? Well, he's like, no, you're not going to pay me off, buy me off. And also, one thing that you may not know is when you sign up to be an ambassador. That's why I'm not an ambassador for CyberLink PowerDirector, because I want to be able to say whatever I want to. When you sign one of those ambassador type contracts, there's wording in there that you can't say anything bad about the software. But I guess that makes sense. If they're going to be paying you to do tutorials and promote the thing, then you can't say anything bad about them, which is why I don't have that type of contract myself with PowerDirector. But the point is, they wanted him to be an ambassador again. And my thinking is like, okay, so y'all want him to be an ambassador again so he can stop saying that y'all are screwing up and cheating people out of their money? That's why now you want to offer him another ambassadorship? Come on, people. So that was the first flaky thing. Well, the second flaky thing. The first flaky thing was having people pay for something and tell them they can get something forever and then take it away from them. That was the first thing. The second thing was they tried to buy him off, in my opinion. This is my own opinion. By offering him to be an ambassador again and start making videos for them and sign another one of those ambassador contracts. But he said, no, I'm not doing that. You're not paying me off. You're not going to buy me off, yada, yada, yada. So then, after that, they go ahead and he makes another video about that, about what happened, about them doing the little thing and sending him an ambassador and, still not doing anything to help their customers, yada, yada, yada. So he had made 2 videos at this time. Then all of a sudden, he gets a copyright strike on one of his videos that he made when he was an ambassador promoting and working for Filmora. So they gave him a copyright strike on a video that they asked him to make. Crazy. So he makes a video about that and says, now these dudes are trying to scare me by giving me copyright strikes and abusing, because basically I don't know if YouTube's doing anything, and I don't think YouTube's going to do anything about this, and I'll talk about that in a second. But in the terms of service, it says you cannot abuse the copyright system. Wondershare Filmora's YouTube channel should get a strike or should be terminated for abuse of the copyright system, in my opinion, because they're not supposed to do that. But I don't think YouTube's going to do anything to them because they're YouTube and they're a big company. I wish they would, though. But anyway, that's against the rules. They're not supposed to abuse the copyright system, and they abused it. Simply, it's easy to see that he was in a relationship with them. They asked him to make this tutorial. He made it. Now you're going to give him a copyright strike on that same video? Okay. You guys are trying to play hardball and trying to intimidate this man into shutting up, right? But he didn't shut up. He made a video about that. It said, now these fools are trying to intimidate me by giving me copyright strikes. But I'm going to, dispute that. I got friends. He has some lawyer friend that does a YouTube channel. I wish I had that lawyer friend. And I'll tell you why I wish I had that lawyer friend in a minute. But he has a lawyer friend that kind of helped him out through that. He has a YouTube channel and all of this jazz. And basically, what ended up happening recently is Filmora reached out to everybody on Twitter and said, hey, we're sorry. If you bought the lifetime license update, we're going to give you all your lifetime license again. If you already paid for version 12 and you had a lifetime license, then you can use that money for some effects bundle that they have or whatever, or you can get a refund and you'll get, version 12 and all our future versions for free. So they went back on what they said. They gave everybody the thing for free, and his copyright strike ended up being removed. So that just tells you what type of company Filmora is. So if you are doing business with them or you like their software or whatever, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you to hate them. I'm going to tell you not to. Just be aware of what these people are doing to their customers. That's because first they try to screw over their customers who paid for something that they were supposed to keep. Then they tried to screw over the ambassador who was promoting their product on YouTube to hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people. And now they're going to try to say, well, we made a mistake. We're going to give everybody back that stuff. That's just shady, man. That's straight up shady. Now, I'll talk to you about my situation with YouTube copyright strike. I got a strike last year because, as you guys know who have PowerDirector 365, they have Shutterstock built in. And I made a video about where to find the Shutterstock files. Right? So let's say you downloaded something from Shutterstock within PowerDirector. You can easily use it within PowerDirector. But if I wanted to use it in Photoshop, right, and use it as part of my thumbnail, I didn't want to do a screen capture or whatever, right? I wanted to use the video in Handbrake or something like that, whatever. So I want to use the Shutterstock asset somewhere else. I showed where the files are at, so you can go grab them and use them for whatever you want to use them for outside of there. So it was not known to me that in the end user license agreement, Shutterstock in there, it says that the Shutterstock footage can only be used in PowerDirector, right? So I didn't know that. That was a licensing violation. It is not a copyright violation. A copyright violation, and it clearly states so on the YouTube and anywhere, you can just look up copyright, is if I use something that I don't have permission to use. So the footage from Shutterstock, if I don't have permission to use that, that's a copyright violation, right? But I did not do that. I didn't show anything that I didn't have permission to use. I showed PowerDirector and I showed my files on my computer. And if I did show a Shutterstock file, it's a Shutterstock file that I had permission to have because I have the license through the PowerDirector software. Now, I do understand that I made a license violation, and I'm fine with that. If they wanted to say, hey, you can't use this version of PowerDirector because you violated the license, I couldn't argue that because I didn't read it and I violated the license. I did not make a copyright infringement upon any way, shape, or form against Shutterstock. So they put a strike on my video. I disputed and tried to go against that claim because, and I put all the reasons that I'm telling you guys right now. I did not, it was not a copyright. There is nothing in this video that they can show that is a copyright infringement. There's nothing in that video that did that. I admitted in there, I said, if you look at their license agreement, I wasn't supposed to show where the files are, but that is not a copyright violation. But guess what? They rejected my dispute, and I kept that copyright strike for 30 days. And then it went away. But at the end of the day, I still don't feel like Shutterstock, to me, should have taken responsibility, and YouTube should have looked at them and said the same thing that I just said about Filmora. They abused the copyright strike system because that is not what the copyright strike system, if it said in there, you can use the copyright strike system for end user license agreement violations, then I guess it would be called an end user license agreement violation tool, but it's not. And when I went through the whole rigmarole about everything about copyright on YouTube, and it says nothing about end user license agreement violations being used with that. So to me, they abused the copyright system and they should have got a strike. And my strike should have been removed, but it is what it is. I wish I had a lawyer friend like Daniel Batal has, and that way I probably would have won, but I lost. And that's that story. So thank you for listening to my rant. I appreciate all of you and your capability to deal with mumbling, stumbling, and rumbling over a situation. But that's what happened with me. All right. So we're actually 15 minutes past the hour, so I'm already in violation of my wife's rules. So what that means to me is that I got to get the hell out of here. So I want to thank all you guys for joining me for another live stream. Means so much to have your support and to know that you guys are always here rocking with me and willing to just get on here and talk to one another as a community and allow me to be part of this discussion and help you guys out with the program. Peace.